Most business owners or investors don't realize it, but waiting until tax time to do your bookkeeping is costing you money and time. So, by the time you catch the mistakes, it's too late. So let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because there's a rhythm to this bookkeeping thing that it's pretty simple, and most business owners or investors can handle it, but they just don't know like how to. So let's dive in. Well, if you don't know who I am, my name's Garrett. I'm a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, and I'm on here helping simplify bookkeeping. So the biggest thing that I see a lot of people do is they don't have a rhythm in how they do their bookkeeping. So they just sit down, say, oh, I got some time. What do I need to do? Accounting. I need to get that done. So let's do the accounting. And they just kind of do it whenever. Well, although that will work, for a certain amount of time, once you get to a certain amount of transactions, it starts to not really work so well, especially if you don't do it for after a month or after a few months, then it just kind of catches up to you. So the way I do it is I set one day of the week, like Monday. I'll put Monday, and I'll do all of my clients' books for that client on that Monday, or all the transactions, I should say. I categorize all the transactions on that day. That way, if I have a question, if he pulled out $50 at an ATM, and I need to ask him like, hey, what was this $50 for? And he's most likely going to remember and be like, oh, I had to pull out $50 because they were only accepting cash and whatever. So then I'll be able to categorize it the way it was. But if I wait, for 2 months and ask that same exact question, it's a lot harder to remember exactly what that transaction was for, especially cash. If you don't have the receipt, there's no way to look it up on your email or something. It's really hard to figure out, like, okay, that $50 was for this. My bad, I forgot about it. That's the hard part, is tracking down things whenever they've gone too far. So that's the first rhythm, is every week pick a day to categorize all your transactions. That way it's easy, simple, you can remember all the transactions, and you can move forward. And it really doesn't, depending on the amount of transactions, it really doesn't take that long. Now, the next rhythm is monthly. Monthly, you need to go in and reconcile your accounts. So reconciling, if you don't know, is pretty much just checking your work. You've categorized everything, and you've done everything to where you think that you've got it right, but you may not. You may have done something wrong and missed a transaction. Maybe very unlikely, but maybe your bank didn't upload something to QuickBooks. So you just have to check it and make sure that everything is right. If you put in a manual transaction in there, you want to understand why you did that. Is it actually matching your bank account? Because you're taking, with the reconciliation, you're taking your bank statement or credit card statement, and you're comparing it with what's on QuickBooks. And if they match and everything's good and they line up, then you're good. But if something's off, then you're gonna have to dig deeper in, because it's not going to reconcile. This is pretty much what you're paying QuickBooks to use QuickBooks for, is it's unmatched reconciling, and it's unmatched debits and credits. Double entry accounting is what they call it. That's what you're paying for with QuickBooks. Otherwise, you can just use Excel and it wouldn't be a problem. But it's really the main reason why we use that. So that's the two main rhythms that you're gonna have to get used to, is weekly categorization and monthly reconciliation. And it is simple. But is it easy? Not necessarily. It takes time, and it takes, a knowledge. You have to learn it too. You can't just be categorizing things willy-nilly, otherwise you get to the point where you accidentally put a deposit that you made as an income, and then you're, getting taxed on more income than you actually, brought in. That was just actually an owner's investment. So, you have to make sure that you're categorizing things correctly. Otherwise, you can get hurt at tax time, or upset tax time and, actually have less expenses than what you are claiming and stuff like that. So that's the rhythm. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you need a bookkeeper, there's a link in the description below. Check it out. I can help you. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one. Later.